But let's dive right in, fellas. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the possibilities. Actually, a month ago, we talked about the possibilities with the basketball program. That Warde Manuel was predisposed to giving Juwan another shot, giving him another year, provided he met certain criteria, right? We didn't just, I know I didn't just come out, and I'm pretty sure you fellas didn't either, and just say, oh, just give him another year. Said there had to be some conditions. Clearly, that was, from what I was hearing, the thought process that Warde entered that meeting with, and apparently not enough of those conditions were met. I think he wanted to hear some about a number of issues that were facing the program and how those issues would be solved. And I think it was wound up mostly being a conversation about NIL. Wasn't going to cut it. And so I said at the time, the guy is Dusty May. That's the guy. He'll be number one on the list. Had a little inside intel at that point, knowing that Dusty had been put on Michigan's radar well over a year before, going back to when Juwan was being courted by the Lakers and turned it down. One of your old coaches, Daniel, put Dusty on Warde's radar. Charles Ramsey, who was an assistant at Michigan, recruited you to Michigan.
Yep.
Went over to be the Eastern Michigan head coach, and then wound up giving Dusty his first college coaching job. So he planted the seed with Warde, cultivated a little bit once it started looking like Juwan was possibly going to be out. Then when Juwan was out, he was talking to both sides a lot and kind of helped get the ball rolling for Dusty May to Michigan.
Yes, sir. Big assist by Coach Ramsey, right? It's a big-time hire by Warde. I think it's given the current climate and where Michigan is, he's almost a perfect hire, right? He's going to fit the culture, fits the Michigan basketball family well. So I think it's one of those things that as long as he has the support and everything necessary, he'll be successful here in Michigan. But like you said, man, the big assist to Coach Ramsey, man. Call him Big Charles now. Don't hey, Coach Ramsey, he's one thing about Coach Ramsey, man, he's always been a big-time recruiter, right? Whether he was at Cal, whether he was at Michigan, at Eastern, he is a big-time recruiter, and gave Warde a big-time assist in this moment as well.
Right, and then he started to really tap the shoulders of a lot of basketball people, guys that that who wore the uniform like you, Daniel, and I'm sure you appreciate this too, Devin, that he didn't just rely on the coaching or the search firm to give him a bunch of names and then go and interview just the guys in the search firm. Okay, he went and talked to Rob Pelinka, who was GM with the Lakers and a former player. He talked to Terry Mills and Tim McCormick. He went current generation, talking to Tim Hardaway. And that's just a sampling of the people he talked to, up to and including John Beilein, who came in about Wednesday of that week. Dusty shared a story. He said, he didn't really know each other. He said Beilein had sat next to him in Indianapolis his first year at FAU, and he was kind of imparting some words of wisdom. He was like, man, you don't know me, young fella. But then started to tell him something. He's like, Coach, but I know who you are.
Right.
Yeah, I know who you are. Like it's like you're a legend in this game. And so it had extra weight when Beilein, who was in Naples, drives over and spends time trying to help court him to Michigan. He had already made up his mind he was going to Michigan, he said, but that certainly put him at ease. And so I'm curious, you guys who played the game, you see a lot of ADs do it different, DG. They ask their questions, they have their process, and they don't really incorporate the views of the people who played the sport, who wore the uniform. And Warde didn't do that this time. He actually brought some players into the equation.
Yeah, I can appreciate it, and I think it's really smart. And Warde being a former player, he can read the room. He can understand that that's a big part of what happens here. You know what I mean? The support from, and I can't harp on this enough, man. The shift in Michigan football, obviously, there was a lot of different things that happened to allow Michigan to go from that COVID season into a run that we haven't seen at the University of Michigan, at least in a very long time. But the allowance of former players to be around, and I remember Chris Bryant texting me like, hey, we want to show the team a video, getting them pumped up for the game, right? Send a video with some encouraging words, right? Kind of leaning into former players. I may be wrong, and people may disagree. That helped Michigan football, and it's a part of why I think they, are on this run that they are on now. And it's not everything, but I think it is something. And for Warde to understand that and lean on people who, like you said, have bled and fought and wore the uniform, I think is huge. I think it's huge for the alumni base. I think it's huge for every guy that's worn the uniform, and it makes you feel yet again a part of what Michigan sports is trying to do, which is be the greatest in the world, right? Obviously, as an academic institution, outstanding, and as an athletic institution, you want to match that and be the exact same. And for football, national champs, they are the best in the world. And for basketball, they have that opportunity as well. And now when basketball gets to that point, people are going to feel like they were a part of that play for the university. And I think that's huge and very important.